in the shops, you know, to motivate you to get through your shopping, you know, everywhere, in the doctor's office, in the clinic, everywhere, the hospital, wherever you go, you're constantly bombarded. So it becomes like a drug which the whole society now has been caught up in. So much so that they cannot function without it. And Islam prohibits it to turn people towards the true source of support, the true source of emotional support, to whom we should be turning. That's God, not the music. And if you look, I mean, of course you mentioned Chopin, you know, Beethoven, Mozart. These are musical geniuses. Yeah, I don't doubt that, you know, there's genius there. But the fact that they were geniuses in this regard, this doesn't mean that what they were doing, what they're using their genius for, was still good. Because a person may be a genius, but may use that genius to produce something which is harmful to society. So the fact that there is genius involved in it doesn't in and of itself make it good. You know, a person may be a genius with the skill of photography, but he uses it for pornography, for producing, you know, fantastically artistic pornographic works. That's still evil. It's corrupt. So what is the value of that genius? The point is that when we look at the musicians of today, we look at their lives, how rotten, sick they are. This is telling you something. How many of them commit suicide every year? People are drugged. They are drugged. They have all the wealth and things around them, but you see their lives are in shatters. They're shattered. They're involved in drugs, all kinds of fornication and corruption, Madonna and the others, you know. I mean, it doesn't take much reflection to see this. And somebody may say, well, what about the classical music? Well, you know, Chopin, Beethoven, they were Madonna of the 15th, 16th, 17th century. They were the same. Their lives were corrupt, and they provided corruption. Of course, the form of dancing in those days differed from the form of dancing today, but it's the same thing. You know, it was their version. In our times, we have another version. So it is something prohibited by Islam because of the overall harm that exists to the society as a whole. So we're encouraged to give it up, protect our societies from it. The other point that you raised was that of wearing the black cloak. Well, of course, in Islam, it doesn't have to be a black cloak. It could be other colors. The outer garment that the woman should wear covering her finery, her clothing, this is something which is required by the Quran itself. يُدْنِينَ عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنْ جَلَابِيبِهِنَّ. Allah tells women they should cast their outer garments over themselves. لِيُعْرَفْنَ وَلَا يُؤْذَيْنَ. That they be known and not be harmed. This is the purpose. That they be known as what? Known as chaste women. Chaste, and again, C-H-A-S-T-E. A woman who is virtuous, as a virtuous woman, and not be harmed. To discourage people from wanting to look at them with sexual glances. You know? So, just as a person sees a nun all covered up in her habit and everything like this, they may look at her, they may see her, but they're not looking at her with the sexual glance. They're looking at her as something odd, different. But they know who she is. Similarly, the Muslim woman should be wearing the outer garment to be known in that way, that those who would look at her would not look at her with a sexual glance. And, you know, as you mentioned, you don't cover your hair, you don't wear the veil, you're not wearing the head scarf to cover your hair, and you like wearing shorts when you're jogging on beach trips. And of course, this is not from Islam at all. You know, this is all forbidden. It is wrong. It's something you're used to. I mean, because of the fact that you're used to it, doesn't make it right. This is what we have to ask ourselves. When Allah has prescribed that the woman cover her body, He's prescribed it for a reason. As it's mentioned there, so that they be known and not be harmed. If you look at the rate of rape in the West, how it has increased, you know, it's a steady increase. In the early 90s, the statistics in America had reached over 100,000 reported rapes, and they calculate and estimate that the number is probably 7 to 10 times that amount. Maybe 1 million women are raped, yearly. In a country where you can buy sex. Very easily. People are involved in all kinds of fornication, adultery, etc. And sex can be bought. So why? The point is that when women undress themselves, and this is what has happened, at the same rate at which the rape has been increasing, we can see a corresponding rate at which their clothing has been decreasing. The rate at which they've been unclothed from the turn of the century, from the 1900s till now, they've been systematically undressed. Till now they're naked, virtually naked. And we see a rise in rape corresponding to it. It's telling us something. Of course, feminists may argue, as they did in Toronto recently, women argued for the right to walk the streets in the summer, obviously, bare-breasted, bare-chested. Since men have the right, they can wear shorts and walk the streets, with their chest uncovered. They say, well, why can't we? What's the difference between a man's chest and a woman's chest? Man's chest is, it is attractive to us as women, and the woman's chest is attractive to the man. They're equal. What's the problem here? And they argued this point, and legislature came to give them that right. But did we find any women walking the streets that way? No. Even though they won the right, they're still not doing it. Why? Why are they doing it? Because they know that there is going to be serious consequences. This is reality. There will be very serious consequences. So the point is that when we have attraction, undue attraction between a male and a female, it is the female who suffers. Because when we're talking about the 100,000 or million cases of rape, we're not talking about women raping men. We're talking about men systematically raping women. So it is for the protection of the woman that Islam prescribes the outer garment. That she not show her finery except to her husband, or within her family, her father, mother, children, family gatherings of close relatives. This is and amongst women, of course. This is the circle in order to protect her, because she is vulnerable. And we have all the statistics of molestation of women in the West, where women have all these rights in the West, in the jobs, in the military, in the medical profession, in the legal profession. No matter what profession you find women mixed in with men, they are suffering. Thailand, which is, people mispronounce it as Thailand. It's known as a place of prostitution, etc., etc., unfortunately. Though the whole country is not like that, but it's known as one of the places for sex tourism. There's this openness in the society to that degree. However, in Thailand, they decided in Bangkok to have separate buses for men and separate buses for women. It's not a Muslim country. But they did that. Why? Because the women were suffering. In Japan, the trains, which are jam-packed, even they have people who just stuff the people in like sardines. They have to now have all kinds of, detectives in there trying to catch these men who are groping the women. The women are suffering continually because this is the nature. When you put a man and woman in close circumstances like that, woman in exposed circumstances, then she is going to suffer. So Islam has prescribed that in order to protect women as a whole. You may find yourself okay. Maybe you have a 10th degree black belt in karate. So for you, if any man dare touch you, you would break their arm and crack their necks. That's wonderful. But so you say, well, why me? I can protect myself. But the point is that this is not the vast majority of women are in a position of weakness. So when Islam makes a prescription, it's for the society as a whole. It doesn't deal with the exceptions. So, dear viewer, we hope that your questions have been answered. We don't consider them to be offensive or inappropriate. We appreciate them, and you're welcome to write in at any time. Please, dear viewers, don't feel any of your questions are inappropriate. It is our duty, our program here is to serve you, to help you to get a better understanding of the religion. I mean, this program was instituted by Dr. Sheikh Sultan himself. He is the one who wanted to ensure that, as many people could benefit, especially in the different languages, about Islam as possible. And he is the one who instituted it, and of course we'd like to thank him for giving us this opportunity to help to clarify different aspects of Islam to our viewers. And with that, dear viewers, we'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of the program. You may write to us at Sharjah TV in the Light of Islam, P.O. Box 111, and you may, that's in Sharjah, UAE, and you may also call at the Discover Islam, Islamic Information Center in Dubai, that is the 04, and the number there is 396-2190. Thank you for being with us, and we hope to see you in our future programs. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.